Good morning. When she started walking this way, I realized I need to hit the little green button. So good morning. So glad you all are here. So we have a lot to cover today, and we have a couple people that we want to introduce to you as well. So I just wanted to say good morning. And thank you for getting the email reminding you to come, because in the memo it said to be announced. So you saw that. Well, I wasn't going to blame you, Liana. But Liana's happy to take credit for most anything. So we're going to start with our patriotic song this morning. Miss Patsy has selected for us. Thank you. God bless America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. So while Miss Robin is on her way up here, I thought I would share an email that my mom sent to me. It's called A Prayer Before Eating. Everyone was seated around the table as food was being served. When little Logan received his plate, he started eating right away. Logan, wait until we say our prayer, his mother reminded him. I don't have to, the little boy replied. Of course you do, his mother insisted. We say a prayer before eating at our house. That's our house, Logan explained, but this is Grandma's house, and she knows how to cook. So how about a real prayer, Miss Robin?
I'll try. One of my favorite old-time hymns has several lines in it. It's me, oh God, standing in the need of prayer. Not my sister, not my brother, but me, oh God, standing in the need of prayer. And so I invite you to join me as we pray together for those things which we need at various times in our lives. Let us pray. We pray for the strength of forbearance to take those things which in the near time feel like trials, and sometimes when they pass, we know they are the vicissitudes of life, and we just needed to get through. We pray for the willingness to see the best in everyone, that is, to meet the holy in the other in every interaction, without regard to our differences. We pray for the passions of hope. Ephemeral as hope is, it is still the foundation of all change. We pray for the instinct of preservation to preserve our bodies in health so long as we are able, and to know that that will change. To preserve nature around us that we might continue to enjoy its beauty. We pray for the capacity for forgiveness for others when they upset me, and they do sometimes upset me, and for myself when I have fallen short of my own ideals. For myself, I pray. I pray for remembrance of the good that has sustained me through these many years, and for remembrance to recall that it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Amen.
Thank you so much. A couple of things I wanted to mention as Jane comes up. Miss Jane, are you here? I wanted to acknowledge my department heads and key staff that all came. Would you mind standing? Those of you who came, Liana, many of you, Karen, stand, Gail, stand, Lynn's already standing, Paul. These, and among these people and 45 others that all came and stayed during the storm. I just wanted to express appreciation. Will you join me, please? Thank you all. Thank you all. And so I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that when we have storms, that many, many of our staff turn their phones off, that many of our staff show up and are here because they don't want you to miss a beat. They want to make sure that everything's in order, our food's in order. Many people showed up to blow up air mattresses, mine deflated. So please tell me y'all threw that one away. But that's one of the reasons why we keep over 100 air mattresses downstairs, is because we know that our staff, 15 or so nursing staff came in and all just found places to sleep, along with department heads and key staff all showing up to make sure that whatever happened, that we'd be here and be ready. We also know that it's going to be typically power that's going to affect us adversely. Sometimes we have downed trees. That's one of the reasons why security preemptively opened the emergency entrance exit for us, so that everybody could get in here, from our staff to our ambulances. I can tell you, one year when Dempsey Mayo was closed because of a huge tree, the staff all parked in a line all the way down, and they walked. And they walked to work. And it was our maintenance crew out there with chainsaws cutting up the trees. When the city, it was us, cutting those trees up so people could come and have passage to work. So you have an enormously dedicated and loving and caring group of people here. And I just want you to have that assurance that when things don't go perfectly right, and that happens quite a bit, that we have wonderful people here, and you're their first concern. Hello, Miss Jane. Good morning.
Well, I want to just tag on to that, because I think the reason we live here is because we have a comfort level that we are going to be taken care of, that they're going to be responsible people who are being prepared, because Debbie was an unexpected invitation to this area. And also that you were, because of the, we were unable to meet with the town hall today. We have postponed each of the meetings, so our residence council meeting will be on the 26th. I know Laura sent out all those updates, but it was at the end of one of those. So just put that on your calendar. In another 2 weeks, we'll be having our residence council meeting. At our last residence council meeting, it was brought to our attention that there may be a lot of new residents who are not really up with all of the information and the history of the Dempsey Mayo project. We have created an ad hoc committee that was created in March of 22 by the Residence Council to study the issues that are out there on Dempsey Mayo. Actually, Residence Council administration, they've been involved in the interchange between the county commission, all of the entities, for 6 years. And there is a preparation of documents that will be found. Bob Parker, who was our chair, Marjorie is our chair now, but all those emails, documents, dating back 6 years, will be available in our library. We had a Dempsey Mayo Committee ad hoc meeting on Friday to sort of update where we are, what kinds of things have come to fruition, what are some things that we need to look at. So because it was brought to our attention, the committee met, and Marjorie is going to prepare a presentation for our Residence Council meeting on the 26th, as well as there will be an article, we hope, I think, in the Clarion, or if not, a documentation. So I just wanted to let you be aware. I don't know that I need to read the mission of the ad hoc committee, but I think maybe it might be good for those of you who are new to Westminster to know what we are actually involved in. The mission of the ad hoc committee on Dempsey Mayo traffic issues shall be to, 1, identify specific traffic hazards and how they endanger our residents. 2, garner and analyze all data, laws, local ordinances and policies, programs, traffic studies, written reports, and successful solutions used elsewhere that are relevant to eliminating or minimizing the traffic hazards that increasingly threaten the safety of our residents. 3, report the findings and recommendations of the Residence Council to support a council request that local government policymakers eliminate or minimize the traffic hazards that increasingly jeopardize the lives and safety of our pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers. And I just want to emphasize, we have been involved in all discussions with the county commission, with all of the entities. We have been a major player. And I just want to emphasize that part to all of our residents. On another note, our ad hoc committee, our ad hoc committees have been very busy. We've been receiving lots of recommendations for the lower level. And it's exciting to meet with Shannon and to make those suggestions. And we've talked with every department chair. We've talked to pretty much every committee chair of the Residence Council to receive suggestions and recommendations. And I think you're going to be very happy if and when we come to the end of our project. But I just wanted to let people know. And remind you, again, the Residence Council meeting is on the 26th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we will have a little bit to share on that particular topic, but thank you, Jane. So Vicki Brown, if you'd like to come up. Vicki has some folks that she would like to introduce you to. And I'll move my phone in case it goes off again.
Good morning. So as you know, we recently initiated a partnership with Curana Health. We've had a meet and greet. Some of you have used their services. So they are providing, primary care, secondary care, urgent care, telehealth. So multiple services that we didn't previously offer through our Health Resource Center. But by having a nurse practitioner there, Jessica Kiro, which you'll meet again momentarily, we're able to provide more services that we couldn't with someone else in the clinic. Like before, we had LPNs and RNs, but they couldn't work beyond that scope of practice. However, as we made this transition, we did realize that there's a lot of other services that were provided through our Health Resource Center for residents and team members that we wanted to continue. So for that, we did continue with Kimberly Murphy as our health resource nurse, who's employed by Westminster Oaks, not Curana, but she is there to support the team and works out of the same office at the moment. So at this time, I'd like to go ahead and bring Jessica up. She's going to share a little update on Curana Health and catch us up to speed.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jessica. I usually go by Jess, but either works. As Vicki said, I'm the new nurse practitioner that's up in the clinic full time. Curana's clinic is open 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. But as Vicki was saying, we do have after hours. We have some clarity. We know there was some confusion on that in the first few months. We have the number that everyone can call and they can get access. From the Curana standpoint, all of the on-call providers are now aware, so that service is much more up and running than it was previously. So I also just wanted to remind you where we are. We're up on the 4th floor in the Perry Center, and I know somebody already mentioned today that we don't have that anywhere else in the building, and so maybe we need to look at putting some more signs up to remind you all where we are. But we're up in the 4th floor. Kimberly is with us in that office, which is very helpful for us to support each other and to bring up, if I can't do something for you guys, maybe Kimberly can, and vice versa. Brenda is with Curana, and so she has, was previously with Westminster. She is transitioned to Curana, which is very helpful to me in getting to know you all and things like that. So we're here to assist you guys with as many needs as possible, whether it be an acute care visit or wound care, or if you need primary care. I know some residents have been reporting that their PCPs have retired recently. So if you need a little bit extra care or you need some gap care while you're looking for a new PCP, we can fill that gap for you all. And the last thing I wanted to announce is Dr. Ali, who is my collaborating physician. He has his official start date to come to Westminster. We're not quite sure what his schedule is going to look like yet, how often he's going to be in the clinic, but he will be here on August 28th, and we are planning to do a meet and greet that day with him here, right? Yes, here in the McGuire Center, but the date and time and everything will be confirmed in the WOW upcoming. Or
we'll send out a blast.
Or we'll send out a blast. So yeah, can I answer any questions for anybody? Yes. Oh, no.
They're bringing it.
What are those services that are available after 4?
Yes. So if you call the number on the, we have magnets over there. There's which has a number, and then the numbers on the signs by the elevator. That number will bring you to the corporate line, which will then give you to a med assistant who can triage whatever you might need. If they need to elevate it to a physician or a nurse practitioner or a PA, they will then can elevate it, and we can do a telehealth visit. Some people just need simple questions answered, like, I was referred to home health and I'm not sure which company it was. The med assistant can go ahead and look in the chart and give you that information too. So a little bit of everything.
Are you able to take Capital Health Plan now?
So the insurance has been a big question. I believe the plan is for Blue Cross Blue Shield and Capital Health Plan to be in network by the end of the year, but Curana will see anyone regardless of your insurance, and if you get a bill for their services, then they will negotiate it on the back end. So whatever your copay would have been for going to urgent care or going to see your primary is what you should expect to pay, and if that's $0, it will be $0.
So if we have an emergency on the weekend, is there any place to go here for that?
There would be no physical place to go here for Curana. Anything for you guys? What? Yes, for an emergency, we would not have anything physical here. But if it's something that we can triage on the telephone, you could call the telephone line.
Okay, and just FYI, Patients First does not take CHP. Or CHP doesn't take Patients First, one or the other. Unless you want to pay $170 to go to Patients First, then you can do that if you have CHP. So
that is very good to know. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, we're closed from noon to 1 for lunch. Background? Yes. So he's an internalist at TMH, so hospitalist. He still is with TMH, and I believe he plans to stay with TMH, so he'll be in both roles. I think one of the benefits that Curana saw with that is if you see Dr. Ali or myself and you need to be admitted to the hospital, he could be your admitting hospitalist and then see you both clinic and in the hospital. Anything else?
here when y'all are on duty, and it looks like it's serious and they call an ambulance, would you also be asked to help,
To like come out to your apartment or your house and
or in a classroom?
From what I understand, I might have to take that question. From what I understand from my superiors is that the only way we can come to your apartment for a visit is if, is if we can prove there's a reason you can't get us to the clinic. But for an emergency situation that EMS would be there, we wouldn't be notified, so I don't know that we'd be there fast enough.
Security comes along with, Kimberly, may come over, depending on when it is.
You said that he's a hospitalist. Does that mean he also has the ability to be a physician at Bertrand?
Yes.
He'll be credentialed. He's being
Yes.
credentialed.
Fantastic.
He is being credentialed right now. Thank you.
He is being credentialed, or he is now?
It's a little bit of paperwork process, but it will be complete before he gets here.
Anything else? All right, well, it was
Yeah.
great to see you all. Come to us with questions. We have some goodies over there, and Brenda and I will be standing over there for anything else afterwards. Thank you.
Thank
Jumping
you.
in between.
Thank you. I asked to jump in so that I could bring Victor Ortega and his crew. So they stopped working on the lower level for just a minute. Y'all come in. Hi, guys. Hello. Hello. And you just keep on coming. So I just wanted to publicly say hello and thank you for everything that you're doing. Victor Ortega is the gentleman in the burgundy at the end. And so he is the person who is giving us daily updates on everything they're doing downstairs. And all these fine gentlemen have been working very hard for months to try and get the lower level all ready and cleaned up for you. We signed the paperwork this morning to start the reconstruction of the lower level. And so you all have made that possible for us. And we just wanted to say thank you so much for staying actually ahead of schedule and on point and doing everything safely. And we just wanted to say how much we appreciate the opportunity to get everything back up and running for our residents and our staff. So thank you one more time to Coastal Reconstruction. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know y'all need to get back to work, so I didn't want to keep you for very long, but I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Thank you. Those are some hardworking people right there. So, and I've been able to go down a few times and see all the work. So, very, very difficult, very diligent work. All right. So, Vicki, let me turn it back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. As she said, they're working away down there, getting things ready, and we're eager for them to continue and get our Health Resource Center back up and running as well, so that Jessica and Kimberly, along with our FSU team, everybody can get back into the clinic and have a lot of space for everybody to get their needs taken care of. So we're going to continue on. We talked with Jessica, and we'll have Kimberly come up now. And Kimberly's an LPN. She started here in the Bertrand Health Center and then transitioned to the clinic and was working with the team there. So she's going to share a little bit with you about what she continues to do as a health resource nurse, so that you know kind of what's the difference between what Curana's doing, taking care of your medical needs, as opposed to what Kimberly will be taking care of, okay? More on the wellness side.
We're so glad you're here, Kimberly.
Thank you. I'm very nervous. Sorry, you guys. Alrighty. Well, my name is Kimberly. I'm the health resource nurse. I will be the point of contact for independent living residents for health-related resources throughout the community. I was asked to share today some of the health resource duties that I perform for the independent living, which includes, it's a kind of a long list, sorry you guys. Okay, COVID positive EMT reports and tracing of exposed individuals, following up with residents after receiving concerns from others, assist with transitions of independent residents to other levels of care within Westminster Community Oak, resident incident reports and follow-up referrals with therapy, Westminster Home Care, or Corona referrals as needed or requested, wellness checks in home and other apartments, annual and as needed, follow up with high-risk independent residents during times of emergency preparedness, new independent resident move-in, pre-move-in assessments. I can also set up meal deliveries for those who are homebound due to acute illnesses, coordinate labs to be drawn weekly, assistance with setting up Westminster Pharmacy and to notify each resident for medication pickup, attend level of care meetings to represent the independent residents, and a part of that role is to attend to employee health concerns such as drug screens, TB tests, fit tests. Right now with hurricane season approaching, I wanted to share the importance of the wellness visits. The data that is collected during the visits help identify possible high-risk residents who may not be able to go without power for a certain amount of time due to CPAPs, BiPAP machines, or dependence on continuous oxygen concentrators. Other pertinent information that is collected during the visit is whether you plan to stay on campus or to leave campus during serious emergencies or storms, and whether you are dependent on a caretaker who may or may not be available during an emergency, such as a hurricane. I can be reached at extension 480 or by email, and I am located with Corona right now in the clinic. But thank you guys. Sorry I'm a nervous wreck. I appreciate y'all having me. This is my first time doing this, so.
You did fine, Kimberly. Thank you. But she's a very kind and caring nurse, I must say, because I hear lots of compliments from residents who have interacted and visited with Kimberly. So glad to have you here. Next, I want to share a few updates with you on assisted living and our memory care center. Because of many generous donations by residents, we've been able to finally implement and complete a few projects and purchase some items that were needed just to help improve quality of life for our residents. So we have now our keyless door access in resident rooms in our memory care center, which has been a long time coming, and we're glad to have those fully in use now. Our Tover Dementia Care System was installed on both sides of the Memory Care Center and on second floor in the Perry Center. And this is a projector system that has interactive games and puzzles and things for residents to engage in. It's been very popular already. And we also got an 8-passenger trolley that not only replace, but to supplement it along with the other trolley we had that was probably 20 years old. But we have another one now that for assisted living and memory care center residents to use for outings, nature, trail rides, and so on. So we're glad to have that in use now. And finally, I want to introduce a new member of our team who you may already know because of his on-campus presence with residents as a case manager from his work with the Alzheimer's Project. So please welcome Gino Santapadre. I probably messed that up, as our new memory care coordinator. Gino, we're glad to have you as part of our team, and if you just want to share a little bit about yourself. Sure.
Hey everybody, it's glad to see y'all. I think I've recognized a few of you from some talks that I've done before. I am really excited to be your new memory care coordinator. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to do this. I had been in Tallahassee since about 2006, 2007, where I came here to be with my girlfriend, now wife. We have 2 children, 2 little girls, 6 and 9, and they've just started school today, which was lots of fun. There is a lot to learn with the new facility and all the gadgets and gizmos. So I am putting myself to work. I've met with the Sparklers already, so I'm looking forward to doing work with them. And I also hope to get invited to some of the support groups and whatnot, just to kind of get your take on where you see things going. My background, I've got a bachelor's in psychology from West Florida. Go fighting seashells. I worked with the Alzheimer's Project as their rural support group coordinator, as well as starting 2 of their respite rooms. So I'm very familiar with that. I did, as I said before, case management with senior transitions, and was with Home Instead for about 12 to 13 years. All of this has been specifically related to Alzheimer's and dementia. The last governor appointed me for the Dementia Care and Cure Initiative, which we helped start, and I'm a state certified dementia trainer. So I'm really excited to actually get a chance to put things that I've learned into play and to get your feedback and make our memory care the best in Tallahassee. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So Tim Osborne, Director of Maintenance. Please don't steal the show. Can you talk to us about chillers and pumps and
Absolutely.
floods and fires and other things?
Yeah, it's been a challenging quarter. I mean, we used to have a joke in submarines that basically goes like, the fire was put out by the flooding. So, yeah, that's never a good thing in a submarine. So, yeah, we have had our challenges this last quarter, along with the flood that everybody knows about. We talked about last time. And then we had 2 house fires actually during July. One was minor and one was very major. It was, the cause was basically the pot was left on the stove, and people went away to go to breakfast, and by the time they got back, the house was fully inflamed. Well, by the time they got back, the fire was out. The fire department responded very quickly. So one thing that did come out of this is I would urge you all to make sure that you look at your home renters policy. Make sure that you have adequate coverage in there. This could have turned out very badly, but they, I believe, had adequate coverage, so they're okay. Just a quick update on some things. As Shannon mentioned, the new motor for the chiller that was in service less than 2 weeks before it died is on a very, very, very slow boat from China. So, yeah, basically, we're past the time limit when it was supposed to be here. We have no updates. So, fortunately, we have our temporary chiller all hooked up and it's operating properly. Okay, nature trails are being maintained. We are looking at replacing the bridges out there, but I'm not 100% sure that that will happen this fiscal. We did get approval on our pergola and the bridges. Yeah, bridges and pergola were both approved. So we have project requests approved on those. Site lighting through the campus has been, is ongoing repairs. It's, we get one fixed, another one goes out. So right now we have currently 2 lamps that are out. They're both city lights, and we have the project, we have the request in. Sorry about that. One thing that I am getting comments on is please make sure that you obey the speed limits on site and come to a complete stop at all stop signs. We had some complaints in one of our committees that people are going a little bit too quick. Also, turns out that we still have problems with people flushing flushable wipes, which are not flushable with our systems. So it's happening in the Perry Center and also mainly diplomacy area. So please make sure you don't, there's no such thing as a flushable wipe when you have a lift station. So make sure that is not getting, nothing is getting flushed that shouldn't go down the toilet. Currently, the maintenance department has filled all of its vacant positions. We've been very fortunate. We have some really talented folks. So between our maintenance engineers and mechanics, we have some new talent there. We also replaced Dwayne's position with a fellow named Dusty Criddle. You may have seen him. I might have a soft spot for him because he was senior enlisted in submarine service, so retired. Okay, as Shannon touched on, we have completed the asbestos abatement and remediation of the Phase 1, which is basically the Perry Center lower level. We will start a rebuild on that here within the next week or two. And then probably in 2 weeks, we'll be done with remediation on Oak South lower level. It doesn't have any abatement that needs to be done for asbestos. So that one we'll be able to move into quickly also. Never did get around to the sealing and striping of Meandering Way last quarter, so we're going to do that this quarter. We have had two arborists on site looking at the trees on Carefree Cove, Covenant, Emerald Chase, and Diplomacy. We will have their recommendations. We already have some that we're planning to have some trees trimmed or removed. Also, Emerald Chase mailboxes will be replaced this month. Somebody had suggested I contact Neil Dunn because I called the postmaster at least a dozen times. So I called Neil Dunn's office at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I got a phone call back within 20 minutes. Had to leave a message. Got a phone call back about 20 minutes later. And at 8:15 the next morning, the postmaster was on the phone with me. So, and I guess that's it. That's the last of my updates. Any questions?
Hi, I wonder if there's any plan on actually fixing the spa instead of just patching it?
I'm sorry? What?
Are there any plans to fix the problem in the spa instead of just patching it so that every 3 weeks or so it breaks again?
I wasn't aware that there was an issue with it.
Oh, there's a big issue with it.
What is, I mean,
Well, either the pump doesn't work or the thermometer, the heat doesn't work, and then it takes 4 or 5 days to get it fixed after we complain. But it happens at least once a month.
Okay. To be honest, when you have moving parts, you're going to have failures. We do have some very, very old equipment on site, and we do repair it just as quickly as we know that it's an issue. Yes, sir.
Yeah, since we're not allowed to go downstairs, it'd be nice if we had some pictures and so we could kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. You? Yeah, I'll have to figure out how to do it, but yeah, we should be able to figure out a way to post those. I'm sorry?
Okay.
Oh.
Lynn can do.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Whoop, one more.
You mentioned that we should check our homeowner's policy to make sure. Now, if I recall correctly, we've been encouraged to have a renter's insurance on our contents. Do our contents mean my sofa, dining room table, or does it include the kitchen cabinets, the stove, the sink?
No, it's going to be your contents. So your stove or your clothing, your furniture, stuff like that would be contents.
Okay, so it's still renter's insurance. If the whole place burnt down, it still would just be my contents that I'm responsible for.
Well, you'll have to take a look at, and Shannon can speak to this probably more intelligently than I can. But I would be very cautious that you have adequate insurance because Your contract, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, does hold you responsibility if it's a fire that you have started inadvertently, obviously. You're still on the hook for the repair of that house or your home.
Okay, so a renter's policy would not cover that.
It can, but you'll have to talk with your insurance agent.
All right, my daughter has a condo on the beach. It's a high-rise. She has a $250,000 renter's policy because it's a one-bedroom, small little condo. She has a water leak and it leaks down to other units, she's responsible. So my $50,000 for my cheap furniture probably isn't enough.
Probably not.
Okay. So everybody raise your contents.
Yeah, again, that's disclaimer, I'm not an insurance agent, so, okay. Okay. Yes,
You're talking about liability, and I think if you'd clarify, if you'd say, does your renter's insurance have a liability clause? I think, isn't that the question?
I believe it is, yeah. Because again, you're gonna have to talk to your insurance agent, make sure that your contract, with Westminster, probably take that with them, or with you to the insurance agent, have them get you the policy that you need. Yes.
Hi, I realize there are many of us and our needs are great, and I just want to know how to ask for things. Because a couple of years ago, we were supposed to be getting a refrigerator because ours was breaking down. And then I reported it again this year because it's leaking inside. And last night, there was a big puddle on the floor where it's leaking. And I've done the same thing every time, is to report it and make the phone calls. And I just don't want to interfere or cost Westminster Oaks too much money. But I've used it for 8.5, 9 years, and it's starting to break down. What am I not doing right?
What is your name and where do you live?
Well, you have a work order in there and a phone call this morning. My name is Phyllis Heitman, and I live at 1326 Hollow Oak Circle.
I'll check into it for you. Yes.
I already spoke to my insurance company,
I'm
and
sorry,
they said
I couldn't
there
hear you.
was-
Can you start over? I missed the first part.
I spoke to my insurance company about the coverage you're talking about, and they said there's no instrument in existence that covers it. You do not own the facility. The only thing you can do is have renter's insurance to cover what you lose as far as your furniture and your clothing.
Okay. Anyone else? Oh, yes, ma'am.
I spoke to my insurance agent after this situation, and I looked at my policy, and I had a liability of $100,000. So I questioned him and Shannon at the time, what is the remodeling, what is the cost of the reconstruction of this particular fire, which was going to be maybe $150,000. I don't know, there's just a rough
That's
range.
correct.
So when I talked to my agent, because I'm with State Farm and I have auto insurance, I could up my insurance to what they call an umbrella, for those of you that know such a thing. So I have $1 million liability umbrella over my auto and my renter's insurance. So the umbrella, and I guess a lot of people, seniors probably especially, may need to think about that umbrella, because I drive, and it could take one incident where somebody hits me or I hit somebody, and there are lawsuits, in today's litigious, if I can say that word, society. I know I didn't say that right. Anyway, it's just something that you need to check with your insurance agent, because I think we all need to be covered, because if we didn't, I had $100,000, I thought maybe that would take care of it, but it may not. So check with your insurance.
Yes.
I hate to use my law degree, but we don't have insurable interests in the structures. So generally, I don't know what insurance company would sell you insurance on the structures. That's Westminster Oaks or Westminster Communities issue. The umbrella policies generally are considered, what's the right word? Advisable for driving related problems if you have a liability problem there, or when all of us lived in our own homes, if someone came in and fell down, the umbrella could cover a serious injury. So all I want to say, because I'll have to set up a little sign, the lawyer is in, and charge you all for this very bad advice. No. But please do talk to your insurance agents before you become concerned about your insurance. I'm quite certain that the renter's insurance, you may need to reevaluate it based on how much you need or what it would cost for you to replace your property. But I guarantee you that they would tell you that you cannot insure Westminster's structures. So does that make sense to everybody? But call your insurance agent and, if you have more concerns about that. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
Very good advice. Thank you. Sherry, would you like to come up? Yes? While Sherry's coming up, go ahead.
Yeah, one question. In listening to the conversation, I guess I feel I don't have enough information to understand what I, as a resident, am really contractually responsible for, given the flow of our conversation. We do have renter's insurance. We do have an umbrella policy, which is more liability. But as a resident and an apartment dweller, then what is it contractually that I, as a resident, am responsible for in the event of something like we've seen recently?
I think if you review your contract, do you have a copy? Does everybody have a copy of your contract? Should be on page 3 of your contract that says what your level of obligation is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So if you are aware of our legal obligation, would you please tell us what it is?
It says that if a resident causes damage to a unit, the resident is responsible. Repair of the unit. That's one of the reasons why it's so good to have renter's insurance, because many do have that additional coverage. Yes, ma'am.
Renter's insurance will not cover someone else's property, period, under any circumstances.
And that's where the two subrogate the insurance by Westminster and the renter's insurance. They actually have that discussion separately. So, again, I'm not an insurance agent, and I'm not pretending to be an insurance agent. I'm just reminding people, as Tim did, that it's good to have proper coverage, renter's insurance coverage. We do find out sometimes people have no coverage and wish they had. Yes, ma'am.
My question begins and then maybe ends. If a pipe in the wall bursts and there's water damage, is that our responsibility? It would seem like that is Westminster's.
I would think it'd be Westminster's.
It would be Westminster's. Okay.
So
But
again,
not the content.
as Ms. Ferris said, the best advice is to check with your insurance agent to see what kind of coverage you have.
But
And again, none of us are insurance agents.
Westminster owns the building.
Westminster
and
owns the property,
pipe
correct.
inside of the building. But however, if we leave something on the stove and it burns, then it becomes our responsibility.
Then your insurance is activated, and our insurance company and your insurance company discuss that.
Okay, thank you.
All right? Anything else? Sherry.
Good morning. Wanted to give you an update on our census. Overall, we are at 96.5, and that's broken up with independent living being at 97.5, assisted living at 92%, and skilled nursing's at 96.6. Of the 10 vacancies that we have in independent living, 6 are committed with a move-in date. So that leaves us with 2 garden apartments, 1 Oak South apartment, and 1 duplex. And we are definitely working on getting those committed as well. Please remember the resident referral program, and thank you to all of those who have used that. We really, really do appreciate it. If you have anyone that you would like information mailed to, if you'd like to come by, get the information to take to them, we in the marketing office would be happy to do that. So please let us know. And on a personal note, I just want to thank you for all the kindness that you have shown to me through the recent death of both of my parents. You all are truly wonderful and definitely the reason that people want to come and live at Westminster Oaks. So, thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Hard to lose your parents a month apart. Gail, would you like to come on up?
Hi, everybody. I'm Gail Alexander. I am the Director of Philanthropy, and it's my honor and privilege to raise funds that go back to helping our residents here, excuse me, and our team members. I hope that you read my article in the WOW about unrestricted funds, and just so you know, that new trolley for assisted living and the memory care center was purchased from our unrestricted funds. And so now our residents in the Memory Care Center can come to our next cultural endowment event this Sunday. And since this event is going to be on a Sunday afternoon, we will not have our normal meet and greet for the donors before the event, but we'll have most likely cookies and punch for everybody to enjoy afterwards. And Wilson Fairchild will be performing. They are the sons of the Statler brothers, and they are looking forward to meeting y'all and greeting y'all after their performance. So as summer ends, our annual Caring for Generations campaign wraps up as well. And if you haven't already given to our Benevolent Assistance Fund, I please, encourage you to just drop by a check or call me. I'm happy to come and retrieve a check, or better yet, if you're interested in giving us a future gift in your will, August happens to be National Make a Will Month. So now's a great time.
Really?
Yeah. And it could be for benevolent assistance, or it could be for unrestricted funds. Whatever you decide, we'd love to have a copy of this will, trust, estate plan, so we know what your wishes are, and that they are directed to the fund or funds that you designate. So please see me for information if you're considering this and you need information to give to your attorney. I'd be happy to give you that information. And by doing so, that includes you in our Legacy Society, which we have annual events that are a lot of fun. Finally, I want to thank everybody who gave gifts to Westminster Gardens at our recent Christmas in July. It was amazing. If you didn't happen to attend, we had 3 8-foot long tables, and they were covered, stacked up, and then all along the floor too, with gifts for the residents there. Simple items, games, puzzles, toiletries. Okay, she's telling me to wrap it up. Also, thank you for the monetary gifts. Y'all gave over $6,000.
Wow.
for Westminster Gardens. And their resident council will be deciding on how to use that gift. The administrator told me that the residents there are interested in having a coffee machine, kind of like the one that we take advantage of in our bistro. We just, press a button and a cappuccino comes out. So anyhow, thank you so much for being so generous. I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you. Paul, Director of Dining.
Morning, everybody. So just a couple of things to come back on. We'll try to make it quick so we can get you all on your merry way. Last week on Wednesday, we were visited by our Vice President of Resident Services, Mario DeLuca, to spend the day with myself and our leadership team in dining services for what we call the Dining Focus Training. And what that entailed for us was the day spent discussing a variety of topics on how we can improve our dining services, from the elements of customer service, table service, working in conjunction with our culinary team, and how we can work better and work towards better serving you all every day. So it was a wonderful experience for myself. I learned a lot, and it really kind of gave me more of a direction on how to continue to serve y'all better. It was a wonderful experience for the team. I think that it really kind of lit a fire for everybody, and I hope that y'all will see those measurable results in the coming months. And thank you to our resident and dining committee chairs for joining us for a little photo op that day so that we could take pictures with our standards of dining as we will continue to implement those moving forward. And with that, we have our upcoming Dining Pulse survey. This is one that 115 of you participated in the month of May. I know that we had some bug issues on that as well, so for those of you that didn't have an opportunity, I have a date. It will be from August 19th to the 23rd that window will open where you will receive the Pulse survey. It's about 5 or 6 questions. It's very quick and simple. And then what we'll do is we'll send out another blast as we get closer to that time, just to give you all a friendly reminder of its arrival. And then if you have any issues, comments, or concerns, please reach out to us so that we can make sure that y'all have access to it. If you have any issues, we will make sure we can take care of it in as efficient of a manner as possible. One thing we've also added in to our dining services section of My W Life, just for those of you if we haven't spoken about that, we have our comment card system has been updated. The comment card is very similar to the one that we have in the dining room, and it's in hopes that eventually we will move on to where all of our comment cards can be put in through that system. It gives us a great way to operate metrics from that, and also gets us a little bit closer to paperless side of things with comments. So thank you to all of you that have participated in it so far. We've received a wonderful response from our comment card system, and the moment you send them in, I get them in my email in real time. Also, what we've done in the dining services is we've updated our Always Availables menu. We've renamed it the Favorites menu. So for those of you that are looking for it, it is on the dining services page. It is located under Favorites menu tab, and that new menu is posted there, as well as in the front of the dining room and in our menu jackets inside the dining room as well. We have one thing I will be adding to our dining services page will be the dining calendar of our events that we have upcoming, and I will continue to update that and post it in there in real time so you all have immediate access to it should you need to take a look at what we're doing month to month. And one of those things being tomorrow, we have sold out our inaugural steak dinner returning. So thank you to all of you that have jumped in on that. There will be more, so if you're not in it, don't worry. We will have another coming up, and we'll make sure that we have that information for you in our calendars and in My W Life, and we'll continue to be as forthwith in our communications as we can. Thank you to everyone that joined us for our first Sunday brunch last month. It was outstanding, the turnout, and thank you all. We filled that dining room. One thing I'll definitely implement this upcoming month, this will be on the 25th We're going to get a reservation system set up and dining so that we can try to make sure that everybody gets a chair. Because I think we had everyone show up at 11:30 sharp and not a dry seat in the house. So we got to make sure we take care of y'all for that. So we're going to work on that as well. And then that's it. I think the only other thing I have is thank you to all of you utilizing our coffee station that we have in the bistro. My humble request is that if you make a mistake on your coffee order, if there's any issues, please make sure you bring that beverage to dispose in the bistro so they can pour it out in the sink. We've had a lot of folks throwing whole coffees into that garbage. It becomes real messy when we take out the trash. So just keep that in mind. If you make a mistake or if your drink is no good, just let us know. Or if you can, drop it off in the bistro. We'll pour it out for you. That's it. Otherwise, thank you. Any questions? Oh, and yes, our dining chat is this Wednesday. That'll be right back here at 2 o'clock.
I have a suggestion and a question. Suggestion is the font of the new menus, it's really pretty, but it's not that easy to read. We may need something that's a little easier on the eyes.
We can make an adjustment for that.
Yeah, that's a suggestion. And my question is, we used to have prime rib Sundays. Has that been discontinued or replaced with the brunch?
No, ma'am. We still have the prime rib on every fourth Sunday in our rotation. And if it does land on the brunch day, it will be in addition to. It will not be replacement of.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. Karen Oliveira.
Good morning. In housekeeping, this week we are still doing the special projects, finishing Canopy Oaks and starting Oak South. I still have a few residents I need to make phone calls to check about the date and the time for them. I will do after this meeting. The windows we finishing Azalea Garden, the inside windows with the tracks and the screens, and then we're going to start Canopy Oaks. Finally, we have all the equipment that it was damaged on the flood, and we can continue to do carpet cleaning. If one of you need that request, let me know or give me an email. And so far, we are full staff in housekeeping. Any questions so far? Yes, ma'am.
One or two programs at Azalea Garden this recently?
It's two different. One is the windows cleaning, only the windows. And the other one is before the windows. One of the floor they come in and clean the blinds, the baseboards, the ceiling fan. That's we call like a special cleaning.
Is that the second one already been done?
Yes, ma'am.
Azalea Garden. I got no notice of that, but that's okay. I didn't know why we didn't have it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Lynn, I know you've been chomping at the bit to get up here.
I have been, but I'm not going to say much this morning. So, Shannon, I'll be fast. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who came to our back-to-school brunch this morning. All of you retired educators, principals, deans, custodians, lunchroom ladies, we all love you and appreciate all you do for us and our kids and our grandkids and loving on them. And thank you so much for all the years that you spent in the classroom. We had a good time. Second, a reminder of happy hour today at the pool house. You bring the happy, and I got the refreshments at 4 o'clock today over in the pool house. Second generation party that Gail and I are sponsoring together is next Wednesday, the 21st, at 3:30 in the pub. If you are a second generation, meaning you had parents that lived here, you are invited. Gail is sending out personal invitations to everyone on my list. If you don't get an invitation, it's because you're not on my list because I don't know that you're a second generation. We have probably 70 on that list. Now, granted, some are deceased, but I'm trying to keep track of everybody. So if you're a second generation and you don't get an invitation, be sure and come anyway, but let me put your name on my list. And last but not, no, not last. The violinist, page 10 of your WOW, advertised the violinist Maxwell Van Hoge, who is coming, and it said being rescheduled, date to be determined. The date is this Saturday, the 17th, at 3 o'clock, Miss Patsy, is that right? Oh, there you are. Okay, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock this Saturday here in the McGuire Center is this excellent violinist. He's been here once before, and he's a native of Tallahassee, so you can read all about him on page 10 of your WOW. But it will be this Saturday, the 17th at 3 o'clock right here. And last but not least, it dawned on me this weekend when I was sitting on the beach, that's when I do my best thinking, that it's 2 weeks when FSU plays in Ireland. And I thought, duh, we got to do something. So right now, mark your calendar for the afternoon, I'm assuming, of Friday the 23rd for an Irish-themed tailgate party. That's all I know. I got to get with Paul and look at the calendar and see dates and times and what room's available and that kind of thing. But put it in your brain that Friday the 23rd, we're going to have an Irish-themed tailgate party, and I'll get the details out to you in emails and posters on bulletin boards. Questions, comments, concerns? Go make it a great day.
Thank you so much. Laura?
Good morning. Just a few people that asked me today. Yes, I dropped Miles, my little guy, off for VPK this morning, his first day at real school. Several of you probably remember me waddling around here with him. So a few of you stopped me on the way and asked me where he was today. He is on his first day at VPK at WT Moore across the street.
Awesome.
So just a few reminders. We have our Tech Talk on Wednesday at 10 a.m. in here. You bring your devices, ask your questions. We'll have a general topic with some information, and then we can answer all your questions and concerns after that. A new edition, August the 15th, which is this Thursday, we're going to the Gadsden's Art Center. They have a juried event that they do every year, a bunch of local artists, and we're going to be going to that. Please sign up on My W Life. We'll be leaving campus at 9:15. Viewing the exhibit, doing lunch, and then coming back. I also have about 4 spaces when I looked this morning left for the AARP driving course that's going to be in here on Friday. It's $20 if you're an AARP member, $25 if you're not. Bring your cash or check when you come for that class for the instructor, but you need to sign up on My W Life if you're going to be attending that class. And do not forget, August 20th is the election, so make sure you have all your paperwork in, make sure you're ready to vote when we have the election. It'll be in here 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Any questions? All right, have a good week.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So neighborhood meetings are going to start this month. I really like having the neighborhood meetings with you. It's a little bit smaller setting, so we hash out things that are specific to your particular location. So if we'll put those in the weekly, so if you can come to that, it's a great time for us to talk. I typically have questions, you have questions, and we can get some things done. Our chaplain, we had an initial chaplain candidate who withdrew his application. He was in the military, he was fearful of being deployed. And so we went back to the drawing board with 2 others, and I've asked some of my team to help me vet the 2 applicants, and we came up with 1 strong candidate. And so that person is in the review process as well. So once that happens, then we'll be asking the spiritual committee to weigh in and meet with him. So he has not been to our campus yet. He's from out of state. But he's very excited at the prospect of coming here. So lower level, I did get a text this morning that the reconstruction team will actually be here today, and they will start working today on the lower level. So that's a different crew that'll be headed this way to work. The crew that you met are the people that deconstruct. So they get to tear things up. They probably have a lot more fun. So, and as a reminder, Touchtown is being worked on. We did have a injector, am I saying the right thing? Injector that worked for about a week and was faulty, so we had to replace it with another one. So right now we're working on with Comcast to get that operational. So we hope to have that up and working this week. So 3992 Emerald Chase. Actually, we have somebody that deposited on that. Am I saying that correctly, Sherry? So the folks at Emerald Chase will actually be getting a new neighbor. And so that'll mean that we have 12 of the houses, 12 of the 17 in Emerald Chase. So, yes, 12. We own 12 now. So, and then a quick request for you to pray for Martha Inman's husband. He had to go to Shands. And so he has surgery today at 2 o'clock. So this was a very sudden piece of information that came to us. So we just keep that family in your prayers. So those of you probably, I don't know if anybody in here doesn't know Martha. So please keep him in your prayers today. Quality of life surveys will be coming out. We actually have a committee of people that worked on changing the quality of life surveys. Yeah, is that good news? So before those changes go into effect, we'll still have our old one, but I believe that will be the last one. We're actually going to use a contract company, Hollering, to do those surveys. They'll be online, but we'll still be able to provide you some in paper if you want. So the next survey will be the old quality of life survey, and that should be the last of the old quality of life surveys before the survey company takes over. So it's being tried out in a couple other properties right now. So the quality of life surveys will happen in September. So please be aware that we want everyone's participation. We want your suggestions and comments. We read them, we digest them, we make quality assurance changes because of them. We write Plan, Do, Study, Act, which is our plans to improve our customer service to you. So your thoughts are very, very meaningful. So please take the time to read them and to mark them, okay? And at the neighborhood meetings, that's when you can tell us also if we're headed in the right direction. Some of the things that we have put into place this last year, if we're headed in the right direction and giving you better customer service, or if our plans are not working. We need to know that too, so we can abandon them and make new plans. So please, please participate. We want 100% feedback from everybody on our campus as to how we're doing. And that's all I have for today, unless you have questions for me. And I apologize that we ran over. We just had a lot to cover today. So any questions? It's about 11:15. So stay hydrated. And have a great August. Thank you.